الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة محمد وسيلة الفضيلة يا الله. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وخليله. عباد الله، أوصيكم بتقوى الله وطاعته وكثرة مخافته ولزوم أوامره، فإن التقوى شعار المؤمنين ودثار المتقين، ووصية الله تعالى في وفيكم أجمعين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة في الدين ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. Brothers and sisters in Islam, the creation of the universal that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, we all agree that there is a reason behind it. Because Allah, the most knowledgeable and the most wise, won't create any creation suda for no reason. That's why in many places Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeat that and confirms to human being that we did not create you عبثا وأنكم إلينا لا ترجعون. We did not create you out of vain, that you are not coming back to us. In another verse, أيحسب الإنسان ويترك سدى. So, if that's the principle, that creation has a reason behind it, and we as a human, when we came to this life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a guide. And the only way we know ourselves is through that guide. And to understand the structure of the creation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most active player on this planet, which is human, is to going back to that book and understand who we are. And do we really that powerful, which we show to the world and to the universal that we are the most powerful one? Or the creation, the structure of the creation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us in a way to feel that we are not in a position to claim any power. And we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could create anything as He wants. Kun fayakun. No question to be asked about the way that He structures creation. But the human being is, we are in this position, and there are other creations active, like movie, like animals in the other side. But the process is the same in many cases, that there are some similarities. But there are certain things have been given limitation to human being, especially when it comes to this life, compared to the others. And that adjustment, it's a system behind it to make sure that this life will continue. There is no way the chance, a sutfa, or any by accident things could come up like that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. Human being is created out of weakness. Now this word weakness, we look at it, where is the weakness? We could do anything we want. We are the one who creates airplanes, we are the one who creates computers, we are the one who creates the most powerful tools, equipments, and living condition on this planet. Where is our weakness? So if somebody will take a snap of the human being over all the output, will come to a point to say that, okay, I could challenge, that this is where I'm not weak. And the problem we have is we always focus on the whole process and the power of the brain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave it to us, and sometimes we challenge that power of Allah with that limitation that what we have. An accumulation of what we have all years in the past. Einstein has a statement. He says, they asked him about the Third World War. When will that happen? And if it happen, what will be the output? He said, I don't know when will happen, but all I know, after it will happen, people, they use like sticks and piece of sticks to fight each other. The iron will be melt on this planet. So that's all I know. So much that we created demolition to ourselves 16 times. That survey was in 90s. 16 times amount of nuclear bombs on this earth to destroy the entire earth 16 times. We are powerful in that. But we cannot get rid of WHO, World Food Service, and organizations of United Nations. We see human beings in millions in other places are dying. We can't even distribute the resource. We have 6-7 billion people to distribute it. If you look at the colony of the ants and bees, you don't see that people, those insects is to die. The distribution system among those, because it's not in the hand of humans, it's in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But for us, we just think about the part of how can, the amount we spend on the demolition is much more than the amount we spend on the rehabilitation. And we all know destruction and demolition is much easier. It's much easier. We are how many people here in this place? 100 or 120. It will take some efforts to bring the people online and to make the people quiet. Still, I see 6, 7 people are still on their phone, and we repeated many times that you cannot be on the phone and text when you are in the Friday, but it's the same. It's just, even if I put the screen there, and a lot of people still does it. Why? Because the mind is somewhere else. The mind is not here. The problem is what we have. So the destruction that what we could do if one person comes could make a noise for all of us here. September 11 or any terrorist actions, people are labeling Muslims with it. Act of few people, something they reacted wrongly, it really affected the entire Muslim world. And that's why the destruction of human being in the level I gave you example of the nuclear is much more than the amount that we could give and help each other. And we know the need as a human being. And it's not a matter of the lack of the resources. There is a resource, but it's just human being is human being. So therefore, when the creation, you have the beginning and the end. And look at this. The way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created human being, He did not create him in a way that the weakness comes and then the power, the curve to go up. So we are between the two weaknesses. The weakness of the creation at the beginning when we come into this life, and the weakness that when we go back. So the curve is this way. It goes up and then it goes down. Why? Because, look at the wisdom, Allahu A'lam. If the curve has to be always up and the power and the energy of a human being, life will not continue at all. It won't continue. But the way that you have the peak and then you look at other people who are old, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that you were created from the ضعف ومن بعد ضعف قوة ومن بعد قوة ضعف والشيبة. Now the two weaknesses, the first weakness is the most active. The most active that around in, but the problem is all the 5 senses are down. The way that to listen and also to see, these things are not there. They are not functioning. So the brain is not working. So you look at the child is like a piece of, I don't know, hashakum as a human being. Even cattle that he has a baby calf there or a baby goat, no difference. What are you going to do with that? What's the difference between these two in the creation that when they come to this life? Nothing. In fact, on contrary, the one of the cattle is much powerful. In 10 minutes, it will stand up and run. The one we have, it takes few hours even to open the eye. So that's the first weakness, to know how are you created. And the creation is always, now we might claim that I did not witness that creation. I did not witness that weakness. But became the al-haqq al-yaqeen or ayn al-yaqeen of all of us of human being, we don't deny that I was not like that. And nowadays, because of the pictures and all of those stamps of the feet and things there is no way to deny. But even in the past, if there were no such a thing to replay videos and pictures, you could have the other people say you can't deny it because that's the way you born. Mother is around, sister is around, everybody is around. If you have 10 people, more than 2 witnesses on you, what are you going to do? And then you know the brain will tell you that this won't work, that you will be born adult. So we all agree that weaknesses comes that with you are coming to this life out of that. No power at all. No thinking at all. And then gradually, you grow up with it. Now, after that quwwah comes, but it comes back to what? من بعد قوة ضعف والشيبة. The weakness comes back. Now, the weakness comes back, but it has some other item with it. The problem is, we were peaked at the brain. We were peaked at the knowledge. But it comes down now, certain areas, the way that we have no, that energy, the same like we had it when we are 40, 50, 60. And then was Shayba. And the oldness. And this piece is not just, you look at the person to be old, that's it's only the color of the hair. As one of the scholars says, when the hair become yellow, become white, really that means no color. White, it means no color. That because there is no other color. The color will be gone. The color that he gave you is gone. And then, وَاشْتَعَلَ الرَّأْسُ شَيْبًا. That the hair, it became, when Zakaria was asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the child, that وَهَنَ الْعَظْمُ مِنِّي. This is the difference between the first weakness and the second weakness. The first weakness, the curve is going up to get stronger. But the other one, the problem of the other one is downgrading. Downgrading. Unless the child will not be birth defect, so everybody will assume that the child is active and could be more powerful and to move, and by time in a year, if he did not stand up, we go to the doctor why he cannot walk. Because we agree that by 1 year the kid to start to walk and talk and start to say words. What? You see the first weakness that we agreed, it goes up. But the second one, I'm sure many of you will get the mail, and this is the most crazy in this country, that from 55, you will start to get the mails about the funeral services. And they say, we'll make payment for you. So it's easy that you pay for your funeral service, that when you die, that you won't be a burden on your family. You look at the letter, wallahi, it is like, it's just your talqeen that you see it. And then you look at all the retirements, all those, whatever, all those names are coming. Why? Why we all worry about this? Because it comes with da'f, with that weakness and the oldness, that the downgrading and goes more down. I'll finish in the second khutbah, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. من عمل صالحا فلنفسه ومن أساء فعليها وما ربك بظلام للعبيد توجهوا إلى الله بدعاء. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. Now, in another verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمِنْكُمْ مَنْ يُرَدُّ إِلَىٰ أَرْذَلِ الْعُمُرِ لِكَيْ لَا يَعْلَمَ مِنْ بَعْدِ عِلْمٍ شَيْئًا. So it will add, certain people goes up the age. From 90s, 95, 96, goes to 100 and above. Now when you see those, you look at them, the way they talk, the way they act, what will happen? Alzheimer's, all types of things, أرذل العمر, worst time of the age. Why? لكي لا يعلم من بعد علم شيئا, because it's a full stop on your knowledge that has to be ended now. Now you can't claim for your knowledge that you have spent so many years and shown that you are the most powerful. Now you are the most weakness. Even you don't remember your name. You don't remember what time is it. You don't remember what city it is. And you forget stuff. And that's the part where you look at those that you say, even if I get to that age, this will happen to me the same. No way. After 100 and say 105, go for it 140. After that, no way. That's it. The wahan al-azm, that the bone will get weakened, that it can't carry you. Then you have to sit. When you have sit, then your five senses not responding to outside. your hearing, your sight, all those, then heartbeat, and the brain itself. All types of sicknesses comes. That's why we are worried about retirement, why we are worried about Medicare, Medicaid, and all of those things to help you to move a little bit better. When you are sick, somebody to treat you. Now, there is no way to deny it for all of us that when that stage comes, it comes to with that part. We are all human, and this is the limitation we have. Now let's come to the range of the time that we claim that to be powerful. At that time, say in 30s, 40s, and in that age, do we have really the most powerful things on this planet or not? Imagine, I mentioned at the beginning of the khutbah, the way we act upon things, we inherited from the past what was done. We don't start over. Nobody starts from the rules of the math or rules of the chemistry or biology or any other science on this earth from all the way the beginning. Who started creating the metals and all of those? We don't. We start from where things are, and we build upon that. And that's where the things are tied with each other. But if you take a group of people, when they're born, put them in an island and say, here you are. I need to create a computer. I need to create a car. I need to build something that you have the metals, you have things, even give them material. Give them all the raw materials. They can't. I mean, this is why the limitation we have is because the mu'tayat, everything has input and output. You give input, and then you have a process. This is any engineering stages works. You give inputs, then you have process, then you have output. We are like machine here. You go to school, it will build your mind, it will build your brain to get some way of being able to communicate with the technologies that are around you. And then this brain is there to process those and be able to create the output. Now, we are limited with that mu'tayat, with that inputs that what we given. If we have something odd, if somebody comes out beyond what we are all in, we give him Nobel Prize. We say you did a good job because that's ahead of us. That's you are a little bit above us. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَفَوْقَ كُلِّ ذِي عِلْمٍ عَلِيمٍ. And every knowledgeable person, when the person has a limit there, nobody will claim that you are the most and will stay forever, you will be the most powerful one. No. And we all, human beings, agree. We always wait for someone else to be better than the other. Come up with another idea better than that idea. And we are in that cycle till the day of the judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not give to anyone, except few cases with the prophets. The example of Musa, when the good person, some says Khadr, whoever the name, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave extra level of the knowledge to that person to deal with the facts. When they are in the ocean with Moses, Moses is a prophet, but his vision cannot see. لا أعلم الغيب. I do not know anything about the ghaib. So my power, أنا بشر مثلكم, human like you. So these people are getting two of them into a boat, and then they ask them to help them to cross to the other side of the river. And then they are in the middle of the river. Imagine this. A man take out the knife and started to make a hole with the wood inside the boat. And these poor people they don't have even enough clothes to themselves. What are you doing? I'm making hole in this. Why? I'm making defect. These people helped us. And he told them in the past, do not say anything on my way. Whatever I do, just watch. He told the prophet. He did not say to someone, illiterate. Don't say anything. Be with me. I said, inshallah. And he said, inshallah, inshallah, I will not say anything and I will not reject what you do. But in this point, he is sent to be mercy for human being. These are poor people. How come you do this? Now it's out. Moses was famous for his matter of the anger in the truth, in the haqq. So he comes and jump in here. You can't do that. This is not nice. He knows the person, he respects him, so he told him in a little bit low tone. Then he said, I told you, don't reject me. And he started with the easy one. Then the second, after he gave him a lesson, don't say anything, he went to the village. Allah knows how many, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, Allah knows the time frame, but it is not much because they're in the same trip. Few kids are playing. He grabbed one of them, smacked him to his face, and he killed him right there. Who cannot stand up and resist this? We are travelers, and supposedly the good people. Crossing by a few kids are playing among themselves, did not harm, did not make any problem. And then you grab one of them. لَقَدْ جِئْتَ شَيْئًا نُكْرًا. This is the worst thing that you have done. What are you doing? أَلَمْ أَقُلْ لَكَ إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. I told you. So the point is, because of the time, anything comes beyond the knowledge of what we are here as a human being on this earth, it's beyond Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala excluded. If that was certain cases, it won't repeat. And if he gives karamat to anyone, if anyone claims that I have special thing from God, don't believe him. Don't believe him. To say, God gave me that power, I could bring up this paper by itself and goes up. Don't believe him. The most corner people are coming through this is through tasawwuf. Through the tasawwuf. It's a knowledge that people, they misuse it. And look at what the top scholars inside that field, Abdul Qadir al-Gaylani. say لو رأيتم الرجل يطير في السماء ويمشي على الماء. If you see someone flying and walk on the river, and to say that this is from God, don't believe him. That's from shaitan. That's from devil. Don't believe him. So the people who are Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him special cases are keeping it among themselves. They don't explore it. There is nothing to show off with it. The time you show off with it, the khair will go, because that special cases, Allah give it to you because of that hiding it. At-taqwa ha-huna. You are hiding it, therefore, but the problem, we human, we look at for something that to show and to be powerful. Oh, that's from God. He made it that. Look at me. I could change this to soda. And that's where this is not place of the challenge. Allah, as a human being, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us a human being. Brothers and sisters in Islam, I gave this khutbah it's just we as a believer, we are not arrogant. When we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we assume that from that point our arrogancy will be degraded. But shaitan, it will never stop. Imam Malik, when they were asking him a question, I'll say, Inna dhannu illa dhanna. Out of humbleness, he knows this is the Quran, this is hadith, and it cleared the statement when he was making the fatwa. The fatwa is clear that he says that. But he was putting some pullback for himself. This is just opinion, ijtihad. This is my assumption, the way I'm thinking. It could be wrong. So that it won't put more knowledge for himself to say, I know it. And Sha'bi is one of the top scholars. When they ask him a question, they say, I don't know. And they ask him, how do you do it? He said, half of the ilm, نصف العلم, لا أدري. From I don't know. Half of the knowledge is لا أدري. So you don't put yourself in certain areas that to put you in trouble. But time to time we need to remind ourselves, even as a believer, that shaitan comes to give us and push us toward the wrong direction. We need to tone ourselves down, that we are between the two weaknesses. Wallahi, the weakness, we start the weakness, we will end. But the husn al-khatima, our target, not to worry about the funeral and retirement, or worry about the good ending, husn al-khatima, good ending. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the last statement on this earth, that you say La ilaha illallah. That's the key thing. Don't worry about the cost. He created you. Somebody will take care of you. It's not your problem to worry about your body and your grave, your tombstone, and all of those. Worry about the husn al-khatima. Because all we know, we came in, we will exit. We are all in that, on the same page that we exit. But the point is, we exit out for that graveyard to do it right. The one when they put the soil on you, the one to worry about it, to stay with you. I'll finish it with this point, Arabic point. I won't translate it because of the time. إذا عاش الفتى 60 عاما فنصف العمر تمحقه الليالي ونصف يذهب ليس يدري لغفلته يمينا من شمالي وثلث نصف آمال وحرص وشغل بالمكاسب والعيال وباقي العمر أسقام وشيب وهم بارتحال وانتقال محب المرء طول العمر جهل وقسمته على هذا المثال. The way he distributed, really half of the time is night, you sleep, and the half of that, it will be work and families and sicknesses. The time will stay, it's very, very limited. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the good ending. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to strengthen our iman, inshallah. وصلوا وسلموا على نبيكم كان لقوله تبارك وتعالى إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات المسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم قو ضعفنا. اللهم إنا نسألك قلبا خاشعا ولسانا ذاكرا وعملا مستجابا ودعاء مستجابا وعملا متقبلا يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه يا رب العالمين. اللهم وفقنا ووفق أولادنا لما تحبه وترضاه. اللهم وفقنا ووفق أولادنا لما تحبه وترضاه واغفر لنا ولوالدينا ولمن له حق علينا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله وأقيموا الصلاة.